Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Hellhound Superman Collection. Part 5. Yep, that's right. Part 1, we looked at comics. Part 2, we looked at graphic novels and trade paperback collected editions. Part 3, we looked at cartoons. Part 4, we looked at animated movies. And now we're going to look at more comics, live-action movies, and live-action television shows. So yeah, as far as TV shows go, I don't have the black and white George Reeves live-action show from the 50s. I don't have Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman. I don't have Smallville. I don't have Krypton. As for which live-action TV shows I do have, well, first we're going to look at the movies. And but before that, we're going to look at some more comics. I got a lot of Superman comics lately, and I figured I'd show them here. But to see the rest of my Superman comics, check out Part 1 of my Superman collection. Alright, so yeah, here's a few more comics. Here's Action Comics 254. This is the first appearance of the adult Bizarro. We did see a version of Abe. We saw Abe's Bizarro in a Superboy comic, but this is the first time we see the adult Bizarro, even though he has the memories of the other Bizarro. So technically, this is the first appearance of this version of Bizarro. There's also a new Bizarro, who's another clone of Superman that looks even more like Superman than Bizarro does. He actually looks identical, pretty much. He didn't last long, though. That's his first appearance. This is, like I said, the adult Bizarro's first appearance. So technically it's the first appearance of Bizarro 1, I guess he's called. The one that we see as a recurring foe throughout, Superman's adventures up until the Crisis on Infinite Earths. So technically this is kind of the first appearance of that Bizarro. Then here's Action Comics 306, featuring some green kryptonite. Superman's one weakness. 340, which is the very first appearance of the pre-crisis the pre-crisis Raymond Jensen parasite. The post-crisis version was Rudy Jones, we'll talk about in a minute. But yeah, there's a first appearance of the Rudy Jensen parasite, and I have his second appearance as well, which we looked at in the part 1 of these Superman collection videos. So yeah, first appearance of Parasite. Action Comics 340. Here's Action Comics 510, featuring Lex Luthor. 511, also featuring Lex Luthor and some other supervillains. 512, once again featuring Lex Luthor, mad at Superman for getting with some bald woman that's, he says, his bride. I don't remember. And I guess Airwave's in it too. And 514, which has Lex Luthor and Brainiac. Again, another appearance of Airwave. Yep. 514, Lex Luthor and Brainiac. Alright, here's some post-crisis Action Comics. Here's 640... Whoops. Yeah, 647. 648. And 649. This is known as the Brainiac Trilogy. This is when Brainiac, who, in the post-crisis comics, he's actually a living being, an alien warlord known as Vrildox, and he possesses a human being named Dr. Milton Moses Fine, who has telekinetic powers, and then he eventually reverts to his more familiar, green-skinned, bald, humanoid form, like in the pre-crisis comics. So, yeah, that features him getting that new body, that whole thing. Pretty cool. And then we also see his skull ship. Alright, then there's 678. I guess that's the cloned Luthor, who has a younger, muscular body with thick red hair and beard. And then that's the cloned Supergirl. Not Kara Zor-El, Superman's cousin. This is Matrix, a protoplasmic being created by this new Luthor, who's put his brain in a new cloned body. I don't know. There's 684, Superman fighting Doomsday. I've got just about all the Death of Superman, Funeral for a Friend, and Reign of the Superman comics now. Speaking of Reign of the Superman, here's Action Comics 691. Then here's, actually that's it for the Action Comics that I got recently. For the rest, see my Part 1 video. Now we're getting into some Superman Volume 1 stuff. Here's 163. Yeah, Superman Volume 1, 163. Here's 214, featuring Metallo, the John Corbin Metallo as a ghost, and Zavam. Yeah, that's the John Corbin Metallo. Here's 310, featuring the very first appearance of the Roger Corbin Metallo, John Corbin's brother. Yeah. I've got the first appearance, the first post-crisis appearance of the John Corbin Metallo as well, which is Superman issue 1. Superman volume 2, issue 1. The first pre-crisis appearance of the John Corbin Metallo was Action Comics 252, which is also the first appearance of Supergirl. So I've got her third appearance as well. This is the first one I showed. Yeah, first Roger Corbin Metallo, was revenge for his brother. And then I got the complete 6-issue series of the John Byrne Man of Steel limited series. Here's the issue 1. Here's the limited edition version of issue 1. Here's the direct edition. Here's issue 2, featuring Lois Lane. Issue 3, with Batman. Issue 4. I'm dropping these comics all over the place. Issue 5, with Bizarro. And issue 6, there's Jor-El and Lana Lang. Yeah, I love that Man of Steel. The John Byrne Superman's my favorite, for sure. Alright, here's Superman Volume 2, Issue 3, featuring Darkseid. Yeah, Superman basically goes to Apocalypse and is brainwashed by Darkseid. I've got issues 1 and 2 as well, which we looked at in my Part 1 video. Here's Adventures of Superman 424. This is basically the first issue of Adventures of Superman, since it takes over the numbering from Superman Volume 1, which ended with 423. So this is 424. So for all intents and purposes, this is issue 1 of Adventures of Superman. And here's issue 438, which is the first appearance of the post-crisis Brainiac, the alien Vril Dox, and who's taken control of the brain of Dr. Milton Moses Fine, like I said. Yeah, so it's the first appearance of the post-crisis Brainiac. Here's issue 481, which is the first appearance of the post-crisis Rudy Jones Parasite in a Superman comic. He'd appeared in a Firestorm issue and a few others before this, but this is the first time he appeared in an actual Superman comic. And then here's the first time he's on the cover. This looks almost identical to another, to the second appearance of the Raymond Jensen Parasite. Yeah, this is the Rudy Jones Parasite, the post-crisis Parasite. This is first cover appearance in a Superman comic. Here's Adventures of Superman issue 491 with Metallo and a fancy new body on the cover. The John Corbin Metallo. Here's Adventures of Superman 497, Superman fighting Doomsday. Here's the first issue of the second comic to be titled Superman the Man of Steel. Here's the first issue. Here's a second issue, Superman Man of Steel. Here's the third issue. Here's the 20th issue. It's part of the Funeral for a Friend story arc, which followed the death of Superman or Doomsday. Here's issue 30 of the Man of Steel. He's fighting Lobo, the main man. And here's issue 48. He's fighting Aquaman. Here's Superman the Man of Steel Annual 1. Here's Superman the Man of Tomorrow issue 1. Yeah, first issue. Alright. And here's the second issue. Superman Man of Tomorrow issue 2. Then I got a few Superboy issues. I got issue 151 and issue 188. Superboy, the adventures of young Kal-El, young Clark Kent, before he became Superman. So yeah, I got a bunch of Superboy now. And I got a few more Supergirl comics as well, but we'll look at those in another video. Alright, so let's get to the live-action movies now. Alright, so yeah, like I said, I don't have the George Reeves live-action show from the 50s. I don't have Lois and Clark. I don't have Smallville or Krypton. But we'll get to the TV shows in a minute. First, let's talk about movies. Of course, there's Superman the Movie from 1978 on DVD with Christopher Reeve, directed by the great Richard Donner, rest in peace. It's got Marlon Brando as Jor-El, Kal-El's father, the dude planet Krypton. Krypton explodes, and Jor-El sends his young son, Kal-El, to Earth in a rocket. And, of course, Kal-El lands on Earth, and the Earth's yellow sun, and the density of his body, the gravity and all that stuff, enables him to have powerful abilities. He can fly, he's super strong, he's super fast, and becomes a superhero, Superman. And then, of course, Gene Hackman plays the main villain, Lex Luthor, and he's a lot of fun. He hams it up nicely. And, yeah, great movie. This is still my favorite. This is still the best, I would say. Technically the best Superman live-action movie ever. I just love it. It's a lot of fun. It's very nostalgic for me. Yeah, 1978. Margot Kidder's great as Lois Lane. Christopher Reeve is perfect as the Man of Steel. He's the best Superman because he's the only person to convince me that Clark Kent and Superman are two different people. It's not just the glasses and the differently combed hair, the baggy clothes, but his mannerisms, his posture, his voice, the way he walks, everything. The way he talks, the way he presents himself. They're like two totally different people. They're polar opposites. And Christopher Reeve does a splendid job. He just nails it. And yeah, like I said, Marlon Brando and Gene Hackman are also great, as is Margot Kidder. And Mark McClure as Jimmy Olsen. Great movie. One of the best superhero movies ever made. The only part that's stupid is when Superman, Lois died. She killed due to a disaster caused by Lex Luthor's missile. And Superman flies around the Earth and reverses its rotation and time travels and saves. I think the only part of the movie that I think is stupid. Other than that, it's flawless. Great movie. I absolutely love it. Now, Superman 2 was always my favorite growing up, and I think this still might be my personal favorite. The thing is, it's more flawed than the first movie. It has more flaws, but I think it's a lot more fun and entertaining, because in this one, Terrence Stamp, who was briefly in the first movie, like a minor cameo, returns, and he's the main villain here. He's General Zod. He's joined by Ursa and Nan, his two cohorts. They're Kryptonians who were sealed away in the Phantom Zone by Superman's father, Jor-El, in the first movie. And they've arrived on Earth to fight Superman himself. And Christopher Reeve is back once again, and he's great, just like before. Margot Kidder's great as Lois Lane. Gene Hackman returns as Lex Luthor, is also great. But yeah, Terrence Stamp is just awesome. He's a perfect General Zod. He's just a great villain. He's cold and calculating and very intimidating and very threatening. And Superman even gives up his powers to be with the girl he loves at one point. He goes to his Fortress of Solitude and becomes mortal, which is kind of interesting. But then he has to become superpowered once more to fight Zod. It's really, really cool. Yeah, this is a very fun movie. Like I said, it is more flawed. Richard Donner started it, but then he was let go from the production. It was finished by Richard Lester, who added a lot of humor in the movie, but I think it doesn't hurt it too much. Like I said, there's a lot more stupid crap in this movie than there is in the first one. I think this is a lot more fun. I really like that Superman has actual super-powered villains to fight against. Very fun movie. I absolutely love it. I cannot recommend it enough. But then there's also Superman 2, the Richard Donner cut, which I think is probably far superior to this one in most ways. Now, yeah, Richard Donner, this is his definitive cut. We see all the scenes that he directed. Yeah, this is his version of the movie. Yeah, it still has, Terrence Stamp as Zod and all them. And there's far less humor, but it's still a lot of fun. There's far less stupid stuff. The only bad thing is in this version, it flows a lot better. It's a little more coherent and kind of tells the story a little better. And has some of the more dumb elements cut out. And Marlon Brando returns as Jor-El. He wasn't in this version. He wasn't in this cut. But he's in the Richard Donner cut, which is really cool. And but it has the same ending of Superman flying around the world and reversing time, which I don't care for. That means he did it twice. That's terrible. He already took care of the villains and everything. Why did he need to do that? Just to erase Lois's memory that he was that Clark Kent is Superman. I guess it's better than the memory wiping amnesia kiss from the end of this one. Why do they have so much stupid stuff in these movies? But anyway, this probably aside from that stupid spinning around the Earth crap, this one's probably much better. It's a great movie. Alright, there was Superman 3, which was directed once again by Richard Lester, and he inserted way too much humor in it. This was more like a slapstick comedy. It's like a Three Stooges episode. It's way too silly and ridiculous. I love Richard Pryor. The man's a comedic genius, but he had no business being in a Superman movie. However, there's one thing in this movie that's really cool. Yeah, it doesn't have any villains from the comics. It's these new guys. It's this boring corporate CEO, greedy businessman type. He's just Lex Luthor light. He's boring. His whole team of villains are boring, but they hit Superman with some kryptonite, some false kryptonite, synthetic kryptonite, and it makes him turn evil, and I like the evil Superman. I like that we get to see Christopher Reeve as bumbling, timid, neurotic Clark Kent, and of course as Superman, heroic and virtuous and colorful and all that stuff, and then we see him as the evil Superman, who's just really cruel and sadistic and mean. Kind of a prankster, though, more than like a real villain. And he does a great job in all three roles. Yeah, Christopher Reeve is great once again as Superman, and this is a great performance from him. Other than that, this movie's pretty bad. I don't recommend it. Aside from the scenes with the evil Superman, which I think were done really well. But other than that, yeah, this movie's pretty awful. But it's not quite as bad as Superman 4, The Request for Peace. This one's terrible. This has Lex Luthor, once again played by Gene Hackman, returning as the villain, and he creates an evil clone of Superman, but it's not Bizarro, it's Nuclear Man. And yeah, this movie's really, really stupid. Really lousy effects, really dated, cringeworthy scenes, bad acting. Just even Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder kind of seemed like they were phoning it in. It seemed like they were bored of playing these roles now. This movie came out in '87. Why does it have much, much worse effects than 1978's Superman the movie, which looked great, I thought. I think it still holds up today. This one doesn't. Yeah, this is the worst Superman movie. It's terrible. It really doesn't have any redeeming qualities. It's kind of fun in like a so bad it's good way, I guess. You'd be laughed at how stupid it is. But other than that, I don't recommend it. Alright, then there was Superman Returns from 2006. Now, this is kind of a direct sequel to the first two Superman movies. It ignores 3 and 4. Yeah, Brandon Routh plays Superman this time. He plays Kal-El. He plays Clark Kent. And this time Kevin Spacey plays Lex Luthor. And he's probably the best part of the movie. He gives a good performance as Luthor. He's a lot of fun. Frank Langella this time plays Perry White, Superman's boss, or, well, Lois Lane's boss at the Daily Planet. And he's great. Brandon Routh as Clark Kent, as Superman, and Kate Bosworth as Lois Lane aren't all that great. He does look a lot like Christopher Reeve, but aside from that, yeah, their performances are just kind of boring, and this movie is kind of boring. Yeah, Lex Luthor comes back. He's still obsessed with real estate, just like the other movies, and it's just kind of meh. Yeah, it's directed by Bryan Singer, and yeah, this movie's just really forgettable. It just could have been a lot better. I found it very underwhelming. It has its moments though. It's a huge step up from 3 and 4, I will say. But other than that, it's not nearly as good as the first two. It's just kind of mediocre. But it's not too bad. I'd say check it out, just for the hell of it, just to see a different kind of Superman movie. Alright, then we have Man of Steel, which rebooted the continuity completely. It's directed by Zack Snyder, who also did Watchmen and the Dawn of the Dead remake and several others. Alright, so yeah, this one retells the whole origin story. Krypton's doomed. Krypton blows up. This time, Jor-El's played by Russell Crowe, and Superman's adoptive dad, Jonathan Kent, is played by Kevin Costner. And yeah, it tells it has the same story as the first two movies, kinda. But this one's a lot darker and a lot grittier, a lot more serious, and kind of a lot more like realistic as an alien from another planet who flies around and has X-ray vision and heat vision can possibly be. Yeah, this time Michael Shannon plays General Zod, and he's a great villain. I don't like him nearly as much as Terrence Stamp from Superman 2, but he's pretty cool. He's probably the best part of the movie, I would say. Because, like I said, yeah, he's a great villain. He's a lot more, angry and, hot-headed than the suave, charismatic Terrence Stamp from Superman 2. He's a very different kind of Zod. Now, the thing about this movie is, the main problem I have here is, I think it's, a little too depressing. I don't like a sullen, morose, angst-ridden, brooding Superman. It just doesn't work. I like a more colorful, lighthearted, big blue Boy Scout, fighter for truth, justice, and the American way Superman. That's how I like the character. I don't like him to be another Batman, I don't like him to be all moody and, like looking down in the rain, oh, I have so many problems, and, Superman can have a tortured past. Hell, he's the last of his race, because planet was destroyed, his last of his kind, definitely, but, he shouldn't be, emotionally tortured through the whole movie. This is kind of boring to me. When I see a Superman movie in the theater, I want to leave the theater wishing I had superpowers. I don't want to leave the theater feeling sorry for Superman. That just doesn't work for me. Having said that, though, Henry Cavill does do a decent job as Superman. He's no Christopher Reeve, but he has really won me over, and I think he's kind of came into his own with the part. And, yeah, he's still pretty good. Yeah, Russell Crowe's good as Jor-El. Kevin Costner's good as Jonathan Kent, even though the whole telling Superman not to save people is stupid as hell. And all the issues in this movie, a lot of the themes are kind of stupid, and like all of the needless destruction and stuff. And I don't really care about the fact that Superman kills Zod at the end. That didn't really bother me as much as it did most people. Most people had a heart attack over that. To me, it didn't really bother me. It just he defeated the villain. He was too dangerous to be kept alive. I mean, I don't know. He was screamed. He was torn up by it. I mean, it's not like in Superman 2 where he just kind of laughed and made a joke and let Zod fall to his death. But I don't know. Yeah, I know a deleted scene showed that they survived, but not in the final cut. But yeah, this movie's highly flawed. I'd say it's probably a 6 out of 10. It's just kind of mediocre. But there's some more things I like than dislike. I like the way Krypton's designed. I like the ship. There's great special effects. The fight scenes between Superman and the evil Kryptonians led by General Zod is great. All the destruction and stuff looks amazing. And then, yeah, so the effects have definitely improved a lot. And, but it is a little style over substance at times. And like I said, yeah, I just don't like a depressed, brooding Superman. It just doesn't work. And I don't like the whole really depressing, really overly serious feel. I want a sense of fun and wonder in these movies. But having said that, I probably do recommend this one overall. I kind of consider these about the same. Like, I probably rate them both a 6 out of 10. They're both very flawed. They have very different flaws, but yeah, neither of them can compare to Superman 1 and 2, in my opinion. Alright, so then there was a follow-up, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Now, the thing about this movie is Batman's in it, played by Ben Affleck, and he's awesome. Ben Affleck is a great Bruce Wayne and a great Dark Knight. He's just absolutely awesome. But the problem is, there's no contrast between these two. They're both two dark, brooding badasses who even wear dark colors. Yeah, Superman's outfit's a lot darker in these Zack Snyder movies. It would have been so much cooler if we could have saw, Superman flying through Metropolis in the sunlight and, being smiling and winking and saving cats out of trees, and then seeing Batman being all brooding and morose in the rain and stuff, in Gotham City, and being all gloomy and all that stuff, and really, really dark and stuff. But no, they're both the same. But having said that, yeah, Henry Cavill is pretty good. He did really start to grow on me. Gal Gadot is great as Wonder Woman. I love her theme. I love her theme music. I love the scene where all three of them team up to fight Doomsday. That's really cool. Jesse Eisenberg is not a great Lex Luthor. He could have been a great villain. He could have been a great Riddler or trickster or prankster or toy man or somebody, but not a Lex Luthor. He's not serious enough. He's too goofy and quirky. He's kind of like a young mad scientist type. It just doesn't work for Lex Luthor, I think. He just feels too zany and just too, over the top silly. Even after he gets his head shaved, it becomes the more, the bald Luthor that we all know. He just still doesn't seem right as Luthor. Yeah, it's probably the worst casting in a comic book movie since Topher Grace played Venom. But I will say, definitely get the this R-rated Ultimate Edition. It's way better. It's a huge improvement over the theatrical cut. Because it is highly flawed. Like I said, like with Man of Steel, there are more things I liked than disliked. But the fight scene between Superman and Batman is really awesome. I love it. I think that was the best part of the movie. The reason that they're fighting and the reason they stop fighting is very stupid. There's a lot of stupid crap in this movie. It's very bloated, and it's very overly complicated. All I really wanted to see was Superman fight Batman. I didn't need to see a prelude to Justice League and previews for other, DC superhero movies. I didn't really need to see the Death of Superman storyline retold quite yet. I didn't want to see that adapted yet. They should have saved that for later. All I wanted to see was Batman vs. Superman, but they added all this extra crap in it. It just doesn't work. But whatever. Overall, yeah, there's a lot of bad in this movie, but I think, especially with this Ultimate Edition, there are more things I like than dislike. I'd probably give it about a 6 out of 10 as well, to be honest. But Ben Affleck was a great Batman. Everything to do with Batman was done very well. Jeremy Irons was a great Alfred. Lawrence Fishburne's a pretty good Perry White, too, I might add. I always like him. And Amy Adams is a decent Lois Lane. Better than Kate Bosworth, I guess. But overall, yeah, it's not too bad. It's not terrible. It's not downright awful. But it's really not what I would have wanted for the first time we see these two fight in a live-action movie. But like I said, I did like the fight scene between them, and I did like seeing these three team up to fight Doomsday, and I love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman. I loved Wonder Woman's theme music. That was awesome. Alright, so next there was Justice League. Here's the theatrical cut. Now, Zack Snyder started directing this movie, but it was finished by Joss Whedon. Zack Snyder left production, and Joss Whedon finished it, and it really does have an Avengers feel to it. And now this movie is very flawed, but I think it's a lot of fun. This is really entertaining. At the time, this was my favorite DC Extended Universe movie. I thought it was way better than Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, and especially Suicide Squad. Because in this movie, Superman actually feels like Superman. He actually smiles, he laughs, he's colorful, he's lighthearted, he makes jokes with Cyborg, he races with the Flash, which is something they did in the comics all the time. He's jovial, he's positive, he's upbeat, he even uses ice breath, he even has a reference to truth and justice in the American way. Awesome. This really felt like Superman. This movie is still highly flawed, don't get me wrong, but I'd really love seeing all of them together. I love Ben Affleck's Batman, I love Jason Momoa's Aquaman, I love Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, I really like Henry Cavill's Superman in this one. This one he felt like most like Superman. This is my favorite performance of his. I know a lot of people disagree, but I don't care. Like I said, I don't like a morose, brooding Superman. I like this kind of Superman where he's more colorful. Even his costume even looked more lighter here. It is a bummer they didn't get the black suit, but whatever, it works. Ezra Miller's good as the Flash. I love the whole cast. I love all these characters. I love Cyborg. I love seeing them all interact. My main problem is that the Green Lantern wasn't in it. They do have a Green Lantern briefly in a flashback during the war between, when the Amazonians and the Atlanteans are fighting Darkseid and his army of parademons. Darkseid's not in this one. It's this main villain Steppenwolf, and he's kind of bland and forgettable, but more of that in a minute. Like I said, there is a Green Lantern, maybe it's Yellen Gur, and he's killed, and we see his green lantern ring floating away, and to find a replacement. So the Green Lantern Corps are referenced in this. I just wish that we would have seen Hal Jordan or Jon Stewart or somebody, because there should have been 7 members, and the 7th member should have been Green Lantern. But overall, it's very flawed, but I think it's just a very fun movie. It's just very, very entertaining. I think it's just a blast. Having said that, the Zack Snyder's Justice League is better in every way. This is the Snyder cut. This is his director's cut. This is his vision. This is better in nearly every way except for two things. Were done better in this, and that's Steppenwolf's armor looked gross in this one, and Superman didn't feel like Superman. He's back to the sullen, nearly silent, badass character. He barely speaks. There's a lot of cringeworthy lines in this version. In the theatrical, Superman, saying, Lois Lane saying, "You smell good. Did I not before?" What was it like coming back to life? Itchy. And then the Flash talking about brunch and stuff. A lot of cringeworthy, cheesy Joss Whedon one-liners. This movie, Superman barely speaks. A silent Superman does not work for me. He has hardly any lines. He did wear his black suit, which is great. I love seeing him in his black suit, but the fact is, when he wears so dark colors and acts all serious and moody, then he's just another Batman. He wears all black. I'm glad we see his black costume, but he's just another Batman. Even Aquaman was way too dark and serious and brooding in this movie. It's not as a lot of the humor from this version is absent here, and I think it is a way more coherent. It tells the story better. It's much longer too. It's like 4 hours long. Better in every way, except Superman was done better and felt more like Superman from the comics in this one, and Steppenwolf's armor looked gross in this, but he felt more like a character. His character development was better. We saw a lot more of him. We saw more of his story, and it made more sense. Steppenwolf overall, aside from his nasty-looking armor, was done way better in this. And Darkseid was in it. Darkseid's pretty much the main villain here, and I think he's almost just as good as Thanos was in the Avengers movies. Yeah, I said it. Like I said, great superhero movie. This is my 3rd favorite movie featuring the Man of Steel, next to Superman 1 and 2. This Snyder cut of Justice League. This is great. I have almost nothing bad to say about this one, aside from the fact that, like I said, Superman's back to being a dark, sullen badass, and Steppenwolf's armor looks gross. There's still no Green Lantern, but Martian Manhunter is in this movie, which really blew me away. That's excellent. And the cast is great once again. Jason Momoa is Aquaman, Gal Gadot is Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck is Batman, feels way more like Batman in this one. Batman is done better in this one. In this one, he was a little too jokey, had too many silly one-liners. He was done way better in this. I think Zack Snyder's style would work fairly well for a solo Batman movie. I kind of wish he was directing a Batman film. because it works very, very well. I think he handles the character really good. Yeah, Ezra Miller is the Flash. Yeah, they're all good. J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon is great. I really wish we could see more of J.K. Simmons as Commissioner Gordon. Yeah, great cast, great movie, and with nearly 4 hours, I got plenty of time to develop all the characters. Doesn't feel doesn't feel quite as forced and clumsily meshed together like this one. It's a lot more seamless in this one. This movie is clearly it was clear that two different directors had two totally different styles, kind of combining and not very seamlessly. Overall, this was far better. And it's a great superhero movie, like I said. Definitely check it out. But like I said, Superman was done a little better in this one, because he races the Flash. Zack Snyder's Justice League, great movie. Alright, well, that's it for the DC Extended Universe. He was in Shazam briefly, but it didn't show his face, and it wasn't Henry Cavill playing him. It was some stuntman playing Superman. He's very briefly in this movie at the end. Great movie, but I'll talk about that more in another video. So that's it for all my Superman live-action movies. There's also Supergirl from 1984. Is a spin-off of the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, even though he doesn't cameo in it. There's a picture of him briefly, but that's about it. Yeah, it came out in 1984 with Helen Slater and Faye Dunaway. It's not a good movie, not at all. It's probably better than Superman 4, but it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. It's a lot of fun. It's very, very stupid, but, I find it kind of enjoyable. Like I said, it's a very, very bad movie. But, like I said, it's kind of entertaining in a really dumb way. And Helen Slater, I think, is a great Supergirl. She's probably the best part. I think she does. I think she carries the movie pretty well, despite its massive flaws. Because, like I said, overall, it's a pretty bad movie. But kind of so bad it's good. It's kind of enjoyable on some levels, even though it's really, really is a bad movie. Speaking of Supergirl, of course, there was I got seasons 1 and 2 of the Supergirl live-action TV show with Melissa Benoist playing the Girl of Steel. This is part of the Arrowverse, which also, along with Arrow and the Flash and Batwoman and Legends of Tomorrow, Supergirl, pretty good show. I've only watched these 2 seasons. I guess there's like 6 seasons altogether. I've only watched these 2. A lot of Superman supporting characters are in it. Lucy Lane, Lois' sister, makes an appearance. She was in this Supergirl movie too. Jimmy Olsen, or James Olsen, is in it. A lot of Superman villains like Parasite and Metallo and even Lex Luthor make appearances. They even reference Brainiac a few times. Overall, pretty good show. I like Melissa Benoist. I think she's a great Supergirl. It's a lot better than this, for sure. And Superman does make several appearances, starting in the 2nd season. I think he's in maybe 5 or 6 episodes total, and then he was part of all the crossovers. They adapted Crisis on Infinite Earths and Elseworlds and all that, where they cross over with the other Arrowverse shows, like Arrow and The Flash and all that, and they were all there. They even had the Brandon Routh Superman in one of them, in the Crisis on Infinite Earths, and even had Kevin Conroy, the voice of Batman from the animated series, playing Bruce Wayne. That could have been handled a little better, but anyway, that's another video. Pretty cool. Again, Brandon Routh also plays Ray Palmer, aka the Atom, I guess, in the other Arrowverse shows. And then Superman is in Supergirl. And then there's also Superman and Lois, which is the newest addition to the Arrowverse. This is a live-action Superman show. I think this is actually better than all the other live-action Superman TV shows there have been. The George Reeves black and white show from the 50s. And just about as good as Lois and Clark and Smallville. And I haven't really seen much of Krypton yet. I've seen only a couple episodes. I really like it. This concerns Superman and Lois Lane. They're married. They're settled down in Smallville. And their 2 sons, Jonathan, who's named after Jonathan Kent, Superman's adopted father, and Jordan, named after Jor-El, Superman's real father. They're twin brothers, and Jordan has superpowers just like his dad, the Man of Steel. And it's pretty interesting so far. I've only watched this season. There's only 2 seasons so far, and the 2nd season isn't even over yet. It's only a few episodes in, but I really like what I see so far. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a worthy addition to the Arrowverse. I just hope that we see some more of Superman's villains. I hope we see Lex Luthor, who's played by John Cryer in Supergirl, and he played Lex Luthor's nephew, Lenny Luthor, in Superman 4. It's just funny to see John Cryer playing Luthor himself after playing his nephew. So hopefully we see more Superman supporting characters and villains, even though a lot of them which we've already seen in Supergirl. But I really like it so far, and I look forward to checking out the rest of it. Yeah, Superman and Lois. Pretty good show from, I've only watched the first season, but yeah, so far so good. I really like what I see. Alright guys, well that's it for all the live action movies and shows I have featuring the Man of Steel. Let me know what your favorite is in the comments below. Let me know what you think of these movies, and let me know what you think my next collection video should be. I'll probably look at a few more superheroes. I'll probably look at some more collections I have related to superheroes, some more comic books and cartoons and live-action movies and all that. Alright guys, well, I'm Hellhound. Thank you for watching my Superman collection, Part 4, here on the Horror, Metal, and Comics channel. Until next time, later.